Willow Creek, a town always shrouded in fog and mystery. The name alone sent shivers down my spine. Every corner here whispered of eerie tales. Willow Creek was famous for its ghost stories, legends passed down through generations, and the old Blackwood Manor was at its heart. This place was the center of all the spooky tales. We were ghost hunters, always ready for new challenges. Our team was tight-knit and determined. Emma, our fearless leader. She always led us forward, despite our fears. Liam, who didn't believe in anything, a true skeptic, he always demanded proof. Sofia, who scared easily but was full of determination. Her bravery inspired us. Jake, our tech guy, always ready with his cameras. He captured every movement. Blackwood Manor was our biggest challenge yet. We knew it wouldn't be easy. The old house towered over us. Its shadows seemed alive. It was a crumbling Victorian mansion. Its walls held a multitude of secrets. The boarded-up windows stared at us like empty eyes. The ivy-covered facade added to the gloom. It felt like the walls of this place were screaming with stories of the past. We could feel it. Every step echoed. Today we answered that call. We were ready to face the unknown. A hollow thud echoed through the house as we crossed the threshold. Dust swirled in the air, thick with the smell of decay. Cobwebs hung everywhere. We walked through history, through the echoes of lives lived and lost. "Creepy place," Liam muttered. Even Liam seemed unnerved. We ventured deeper into the house, our footsteps echoing in the silence. Each room was like a photograph from the past, frozen in time. In the living room, a rocking chair creaked back and forth, though there was no wind. The dining room held a chill that sent shivers down my spine. We were being watched. I could feel it. The attic was the heart of the mystery, holding within its walls countless untold stories and secrets. Local legends claimed that the former owner, Mrs. Blackwood, had died here under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind a trail of questions and rumors. As we climbed the creaky stairs, the air grew heavy, as if thick with old memories and fear. It was hard to breathe, as if some unseen force pressed down on us, making us feel uneasy. Sofia's eyes were wide with fear, but she kept going despite her apprehension. She was braver than she thought, and her determination helped us move forward. The attic was dark and dusty, strange shadows dancing in the corners, creating the illusion of movement. In the center of the room sat an old, dusty trunk, its lid slightly ajar, as if inviting us to peek inside. As we drew closer, we heard it. A faint whisper, as if someone was calling our names. The sound seemed to be coming from the trunk, amplifying our unease. "Did you hear that?" Sofia whispered, her voice trembling, her fear palpable. We all heard it. This was it, the confirmation of all our fears and suspicions. Holding our breath, we slowly lifted the trunk's lid. For a moment there was nothing but darkness. And then we saw her. A ghostly figure materialized before our very eyes. It was the translucent form of a woman in a flowing white gown. Her eyes were hollow and her face was etched with sadness and anger. Sofia gasped. Liam stumbled backward, his face draining of color. Even Jake, our resident tech whiz, seemed speechless. The figure turned towards us, her sorrowful eyes settling on me. "Ghost, you should not be here," she whispered, her voice filled with sorrow. "Leave this place."
Fear, wild and consuming, gripped us. We scrambled away from the apparition, stumbling over each other in our haste. The attic seemed to close in around us, the air thick with terror. "Run!" I screamed, my voice echoing in the sudden silence. We didn't need to be told twice. We bolted for the attic door, our hearts pounding in our chests. The floorboards creaked ominously beneath our feet, as if the house itself was trying to prevent our escape. We flew down the stairs, through the dark corridors, not daring to look back. The front door seemed miles away.
"Was that real?" Sofia breathed, her eyes wide with shock.
Outside, we sucked in deep breaths of air. The cool night air did little to calm our racing hearts. Liam, still pale, was uncharacteristically quiet. He'd seen it too, there was no denying it.
Jake, ever the pragmatist, was already setting up his equipment. He'd managed to capture the entire encounter on camera.
We huddled around the screen, the events of the night replaying before our eyes. There she was, clear as day, the ghostly figure of Mrs. Blackwood. Liam, our resident skeptic, stared at the screen, disbelief etched on his face. He couldn't believe his eyes, for what he was seeing contradicted everything he'd ever believed in. He'd always dismissed ghost stories as superstition. To him, they were nothing more than fairy tales, with no basis in reality. And yet, here it was, undeniable proof that the supernatural existed. The ghost he'd seen was so real there was no room for doubt. The experience had shaken him to his core. He couldn't find a rational explanation for what had transpired.
I can't explain it, he muttered, running a hand through his hair. This goes against everything I know. I never believed in any of this before, but I saw it with my own eyes. His voice shook with a mixture of fear and awe.
Liam's confession hung in the air. His words echoed in the room, leaving everyone speechless. It was one thing to experience the paranormal yourself, but to see a staunch skeptic's beliefs crumble before your very eyes was truly unsettling. Liam's doubts had vanished, replaced by the chilling realization that the world was full of mysteries we had yet to unravel. Our encounter at Blackwood Manor had changed us. We had come face to face with the unknown, and it had left an indelible mark on our souls. Willow Creek, once just a dot on the map, now held a whole new meaning for us. It was a place where the veil between the living and the dead was thin. As the first rays of dawn painted the horizon, we finally turned away from the imposing silhouette of Blackwood Manor. The house stood silent, keeping its secrets, but we knew the truth. The whispers of Willow Creek would forever echo in our hearts. The search for the paranormal is never-ending. Every investigation, every encounter brings us closer to understanding the mysteries that lie beyond the veil. We left Willow Creek that day with more questions than answers. But one thing was certain: we would continue to seek the truth, no matter how terrifying it may be. Our journey as ghost hunters had just begun, and somewhere out there, in the darkness, other lost souls awaited us. We would be ready for them. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the world of the unknown on Ghost Adventures.